Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Casey. I am a homeschooling mother of two. I'm a former teacher. And today I just want to talk about what am I reading?
Every change has a reason. Baby, let it come to you.
So periodically, I like to share what I have been reading. If you have never seen my other video of what am I reading, then you have no idea that I read a lot of books at one time. Like a lot. Now, I don't like to read one book from like cover to cover. That happens very rarely. I usually will start reading one and then read something that's very different. I don't always read fiction. I prefer nonfiction. I prefer to learn a lot. If I'm reading fiction, it's because I need to go to sleep. Honestly, I mean, let's be honest, that's not my absolute favorite thing to read. So first and foremost, the first book that I would like to share is Wife After God. Now, I have seen a lot of people post this over the last couple of years. I have the other books that are like prayers for my son, prayers for my daughter, prayers for my husband. And I got this at the same time, but I didn't start it until literally a couple days ago. So I had intentions of starting it before we moved, but I picked it up a couple days ago because I realized with our cross-country move, well, let's back it up. House sale, planning my stepdaughter's wedding in a week and executing it, moving across country, spending 3 weeks with my family, taking a truck also of stuff because we had to downsize moving here, and then getting here. We've had a lot of stress, and let's be honest, I do not think I have been the best wife that I can possibly be. That's okay. We all get there, but I wanted to refocus and make sure that I was doing what I need to do as a wife, because sometimes as a homeschool mom, you get so focused on your kids that you may kind of forget your husband because he's not here all day. So I wanted to focus on being a better wife. And what I like about this book is that it's not super in depth. It gives you some really thoughtful questions to think about. It gives you some scripture to read. And it takes me maybe 20 minutes, if that. It's not too short like a devotional, but it's not too long like some Bible studies where they're just so in depth. I don't have that kind of time. This has actually gotten my mind to reset to where it needs to be. So I would recommend this one. And if you have done this one, please comment below and I'd like to hear your thoughts. So second, this is fiction. Well, it's a true story, but written as fiction. Sagebrush Surgeon is a book from The Good and the Beautiful. It is a level 11. It's not very thick, thank goodness, but this book is about Dr. Salisbury and his wife during, I want to say it was the early 1900s, like right before World War I. I'll have to look. Anyway, so they go to be missionaries with the Navajo Nation. And in the beginning, there is some historical facts about these things that like I knew, but I didn't know super in depth. And I'm not super far into this, but I actually really kind of like it. It kind of gives me that fiction feel, but at the same time, like I'm still learning. I shared some of these a while back. I had gotten a big stack of books from The Good and the Beautiful. Now my son is in 3rd grade, so this is way too high for him, but I had bought them for myself thinking, you know, I'll read them because I want to read good and beautiful literature too, not just my children. But I also figured as he grew, you know, these could be for him as well. So I have enjoyed this one. Some of you know I got a new camera, like for photography, not just for filming. And I want to learn more. It is way more in depth than my old one. It has a learning curve. So I got 2 photography books. Now, most of you are probably like, well, why don't you just Google it? Or why don't you watch a YouTube video? That's just not how I learn. I'm old school. I want to see it, feel it, touch it, highlight, and take notes. So this one, the digital photography book, these are by Scott Kelby, and Kelby actually has, I wish I could remember the website, but I'll link it below. There's actually a website where they have all these tutorials, or maybe it's a YouTube channel, but I'll link it below. But I got his books instead because it's a little bit easier for me to stay focused. And then this one's the landscape photography book because I'm in a place with like beautiful landscapes, so I wanted to make sure that I was taking much better photographs. So honestly, these are sitting in the bathroom because like I'm not spending a lot of time on it because they're pretty short and sweet. Not like majorly in depth, so like I could read a few pages at a time, and you know, that's where it's quiet and no one's bothering you. So if anybody else does that, comment below. All right, I got this book, The Wahls Protocol. Some of you may have heard of this book, or maybe you've heard of an AIP diet. If you have autoimmune conditions like I do, how do you manage them? Now, I have read and read and read, and I do many things, but someone had suggested this book. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I haven't started it yet, but I'm interested. It's pretty thick. I'm interested to see what she has to say and what she came up with. She is a doctor, and she ended up getting diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, and she ended up wheelchair bound, and she was able to reverse a lot of her symptoms by implementing her protocol. So we'll see. Now, I hesitate to share things that are about current events or have a political connotation. I haven't shared them in the past, but I mean, if I'm being transparent and honest with my community, then I probably should tell you what else I'm reading. Sounds really bad when I say it like that, but I've been reading American Marxism. Hopefully this doesn't get me banned off YouTube. But it has been interesting to read his perspective. If you don't know Mark Levin, he has podcasts. He's on Blaze TV. He's on Fox News. I'm not a big fan of Fox News anymore, but he does a tremendous amount of research, and I always enjoy reading his books. I've read quite a few. If you're interested, I'll link these below. And then this last one I have already read many times, but I wanted to share it with you because I think it's a wonderful book. Sacred Marriage. Now, someone gave me a copy and my husband a copy when we first got married. And if you can see how abused it is, like it's gone through some serious abuse. I spilled water all over it one time. As I was blow drying it to dry it, God led me to a passage which convicted me at a time. So this book has really spoken to me. Gary Thomas actually has written a ton of books, and I enjoy the way that he writes. He's not just like, you know, pro-man. It's both sides. I really enjoyed it. I always give people a copy that are getting married or are struggling in marriage. I like it. It's a reminder of the things that you need to do, and I always come back to this one. Honestly, this was the book that got me through my first year of marriage. Now, you never realize in your first year of marriage like how hard it is until you're like on the other side of it and you're like, wow, that was really hard. This book got me through the first year of marriage. So I would highly suggest this one, even if you're just looking for something good to read. So hopefully you enjoyed my book pile that I just shared. Maybe it gave you some new suggestions of some things to read, some things you never thought about reading. Maybe some things you're like, ugh, I'm not reading that. But hopefully, if you have read any of these books, please comment below what you think. If you're thinking about reading one, comment below. If you just liked watching this video for some ideas, hit the like button. If you're not already subscribed, please do. I really appreciate that. I love growing this community. I love meeting so many amazing people. You know, I have made some pretty close friendships with people that I have never actually met, which sounds kind of strange, but you know, it's a community where, you know, we're all in the same boat and we just kind of need each other's support. And you may not have support in your town or your city or your state or even with your family, because currently I don't have that right now. So my community is you guys. Until like we've been here long enough, I have actually joined a homeschool group, and I hope you enjoyed this video. See you in the next one. Bye.
Every change has a reason.